What we can do is to intend, is to strive, is to open ourselves to that reality, to truth about ourselves, and eventually using this or that sadhana or method, we may have that experience or may not. There is a saying, I think in the Buddhist tradition, I'm not sure anymore where it comes from, but I think it comes from some of those medieval Pure Land Buddhists from Japan, saying that the moonlight shines into every hamlet in the land, but only those who gaze upon the moon can carry its radiance in their heart. So basically this basic truth or reality or gnosis of our own true nature is there. It is up to us to turn to it and open to it. And whether we will experience or have direct knowledge of our own true nature or not, it's really not in our hands. All we can do is, as it says in this saying, to gaze upon the moon or to turn our face to the truth, and then simply accept whatever comes our way as a result of our good intention. But according to my definition, only that direct experience or direct knowledge of our true nature as we are is actually true gnosis and nothing else. Once we had this sort of spiritual experience, which we may also call enlightenment, inevitably a better understanding of life, of other people, of other realities would follow. And some may be tempted to call such experiences or such knowledge gnosis too. I would say that such insights into the nature of reality are actually direct consequence of gnosis and not gnosis itself. Gnosis itself is this direct self-knowledge, direct knowledge of our own true nature as we are. And then from that experience, from that breakthrough, from that knowledge, further insight or further understanding of life, I say other realities, may follow. But it's a consequence of gnosis. It is grounded in our Gnostic experience. But what I call gnosis is this experience. And after I was consecrated as a Gnostic bishop in 2006 in Chicago by my friend and teacher, very, very, very nice man that I love very much, Michael Bertio. I already had a lot of experience with certain Eastern and Buddhist methods of self-inquiry and also some other modern Western approaches to therapy, mind clearing, and how it's popularly called self-improvement techniques, although I do not particularly like that term. So after my consecration, I was pondering for a while actually, like, what is the essence of this work? What is the essence that people should be geared to? If I want to use the consecrations that I received in real life, if I would like to exercise my priesthood, so to speak, what should I do in order to really help people to get to gnosis, to really come to the essence of things, and not to burden those people with my personal misunderstandings, with my personal doubts, with my personal delusions, and other carriage that I'm carrying on with me all my life. What I believe often happens with the people who tend to teach or to give lectures, seminars, or work with other people, they inevitably, to a certain extent, they draw people into their own, personal drama, personal issues. It inevitably happens in any relationship. There is nothing inherently bad with it. But if it is possible to reduce that to a minimum, what that would be, and what I should do to avoid that as much as I can. And what I saw is this: as long as we stick to this definition of gnosis, that it is only a direct knowledge of your own true nature as you are, and that everything else flows from that, then it is necessary in the first step of the Gnostic consecrations and Gnostic work, the first step would be to help people to gain that experience, to have that breakthrough experience, no matter how shallow or how deep, but to have that experience of direct knowledge of their own true nature. Because enlightenment is always enlightenment. The taste of Zen is always the same. But we can speak about the different depths of such an experience. And no matter how shallow or how deep that experience would be, it's a turning point in the life of our individual to have such an experience. And having such a breakthrough experience can only help one to continue to follow the spiritual path in a more meaningful way, because now they know what they're after, because now they know what is Gnosis, now they know what is direct knowledge, they know that it is possible to have such an experience. So I see the progress of the 4 steps of consecration in the Gnostic Church, and what we do through our sacramental work and teaching work, etc. First, as an attempt to help people to have such an experience, and second, to apply it in life. Because for me, Gnosis, explained as the way I'm explaining it right now, is not the end of process, it's a beginning. To have the Gnosis or to have the enlightenment experience is actually beginning of the path. It is not the end. If you would like to compare it, for instance, with the life of Buddha, if enlightenment was in any way the end of something, then Buddha, after reaching the enlightenment on the Bodhi tree in the morning, when his look fell upon the rising star, this was actually Venus, how it's called in English, never mind. If that was the end, then we would never hear anything about Buddha anymore. Instead, he spent 40 years after that experience being very active in the world, not only teaching people, recluses or so on, but being very engaged with the society, being very engaged with the people in the society of those times. He was social reformer as much as he was a spiritual teacher. So obviously, for him, the enlightenment was not the end. It was a beginning of something different, a beginning of an alternative to common ways of living. So if we would be able to help people in the beginning of their Gnostic path to have that sort of breakthrough experience, to get to know directly who they are for the beginning, and to realize that the reality of truth, that there is truth, that it is possible to directly know the truth, and that there are means how to implement that truth in life, how to give it forth, to make your life more fulfilling in whatever way, then it would be of immense help, really, and it would bring more sense into all this endeavor. And therefore, I separated, let's say, the esoteric aspects of my work, which deal with other realities and spiritual beings and eons and demons and law, separated that aspect of my work from that aspect of my work which is purely Gnostic in this sense. Purely Gnostic in a sense that it is to help people to get enlightened, and then to apply that into their own lives. And sacraments and some other things are, let's say, tools, supportive tools in that process. And the main method or the main thing that I teach in this process is actually something that was invented by this man Charles Berner, whom I already mentioned, and it is a method called Enlightenment Intensive, which is a sort of crisscross between a Buddhist Zen type of meditation with some Western communication techniques. So I hope this would be enough for the beginning. I would not like to go over 40 minutes in any of these talks, and I will continue to explore this topic in some of my further talks. So this one was about what Gnosis is, according to my understanding, and I define it as direct knowledge of our true nature as we are, and that the objective of the Ecclesia Gnostica Pneumatica is actually to teach on a first level, which would be a level of initiate or subdeacon, is to teach a method or methods for having that sort of experience. At this moment, the best method we know is called enlightenment intensives. Could be something else in the future. And then from the level of deacon upwards, so to speak, is basically a progressive teaching of methods of helping people to expand and to implement that experience in their lives. So basically, we would expect from priests to be able to help other people, and I will definitely talk a bit more about this in some future talks. So I don't know. Let's see how this experiment goes. I wonder how many of you will listen to this in the first place, and whether you will find this interesting or satisfactory way of communication or not. Maybe after a few tries, I decide that this recording of talks is obnoxious, or it simply is not appropriate, and I will quit. Or maybe I will continue, or whatever. But your feedback would be appreciated, and it's definitely easier for me to talk than to type, and I hope you understand that. So thank you very much for your time, especially if you stayed with me all these 38, almost 39 minutes. And I hope to listen to your feedback, and maybe in a few weeks, or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks time, I will show up on this Facebook page with another audio recording. Once again, I wish you Merry Christmas. I wish you a Happy New Year. This has been a year with a lot of changes for me. I'm moving to another city, and buying a new apartment, and many changes are there, and I'm looking forward that we continue our communication and our sharing and contact in the year to come, and in this new phase, a new period of my life. Love you, and thank you for your time.